All right, what is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Dad's Life podcast. I'm your host, Sean Flac 2.0. We're here live streaming here on Mixer. That's mixer.com/Sean_Flac. If you're interested in checking out the show live streamed, we'll be live streaming Wednesday nights at 9 Pacific Standard Time. And then after the stream, we'll be doing a quick Q&A about whatever topic you guys like to talk about. All things dad life is on the table. And again, I'm here to, here to listen, here to support you guys in, parents. Again, not just dads, but moms, but we are the Dad's Life podcast. Let's see here. We'll be going into our today's topic, which I definitely would like to talk about the tragic accident that happened this past week with Kobe Bryant and those a total of 9 individuals that lost their life in that unfortunate accident. So we'll talk about that. We got to talk about what's new for February. Going to be Fitness February. And then, of course, the latest personal Holla at your homie. So anyway, let's get into it. But before we do, if you are new to the podcast, I am hosted on Anchor.fm. If you're not familiar with that, you can also find us on Google Podcasts, also Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to have links to everything that is Sean Flac, basically the Dad's Life podcast and all the other content, you can head over to the website seanflac.com, and I'll make sure the description or the link is in the description below, and everything that we're doing there. So we do have the podcast, we do have the YouTube. If you want to contact me, you contact me through there, Twitter, Facebook. Everything you're going to need for web access is at seanflac.com. And again, welcome to the show. So let's get into it. So we're going to talk about go right into the main topic. It's very unfortunate that I don't want to start off with his name, but there was an incident that happened. There was a very unfortunate, tragic accident that happened on Sunday, and it was a helicopter crash in Calabasas. It claimed the lives of Christina Mauser, Sarah Chester, Peyton Chester, Ara Zabian. If I am destroying the name, I do apologize. John Altobelli, his wife Carrie, and their daughter Alyssa. And then, of course, Gianna Bryant, and then last but not least, Kobe Bryant. Those 9 people unfortunately died, lost their lives, and it was a big tragedy. It's interesting enough. First of all, thoughts and prayers to all the families and everybody that has lost their life. And one of the things that I like to preach on the podcast is time. We don't know when time is up. And a lot of us take for granted the blessing that it is to leave the house and come home safe and unharmed. So I'd like to, take a quick moment of silence to honor them as folks. And so let's do it. So thank you for joining me in that quick moment of silence. I know that's like one of the dead things on a podcast you don't want to have, but just a little background. I've never been a Kobe fan. I've never been a fan of his, and that's on the court. When it comes to like basketball, I was always a Warriors fan. I was raised in Oakland, so I was always a Golden State Warriors fan when I was really into basketball. And I really hated him because I know every time he came to town, he would embarrass our team. Because he was good. He was great. I loved to hate him, especially on the court. At the time I was working at Foot Locker, and he just left Adidas. And if you guys know anything about Kobe Bryant, his Adidas shoe, the Moon shoe, very infamous. Those things look like they were bricks on his feet. And I'm glad he actually left them to go to Nike. But he just left Adidas, had experience with his shoe, the technology in it. At the time, it was, breakthrough as far as the materials and all that stuff. But it was a trash shoe. and he was going to come to town. He's going to trash us. So I love to hate the guy when he was on the court. Obviously, just recently, he did retire. He did retire from the game. One thing you can't deny is how great he was at it and how he inspired generations to come about being the best. And a lot of things that he said and a lot of quotes that he left was basically about hard work. Hard work, he said. And don't quote me on this because I don't have that quote right in front of me. I should have had it a little bit more prepared before I got on here, but I was just kind of wanted to. But he basically had said that I have nothing in common with lazy people that blame others and make excuses for their lack of success. And, one of the things that I preach here on the podcast is you need to work hard. Hard work pays off. Like, hard work will trump talent 10 times out of 10, 11 times out of 10. Somebody that's out there busting their butt is going to grow and change and fail and grow and learn and get better and improve versus somebody that is talented where they think that they're better than everybody and they don't have to improve. They don't have to because they're just so talented that eventually that person that was really busting their butts, all day, every day, got to their level and surpassed them because of the mentality. And that was one of the main things that Kobe had talked about. And then, of course, what he did as a father. Like, he wasn't perfect. Let's be very clear. He did have, some controversy or whatever through his career. But in the end, at the end of the day, he was a dad. At the end of the day, there was multiple dads that passed and, and children. And, one of the things that hit me that made me want to talk about this was, one of my friends had commented saying that, Kobe probably died of heartbreak before, the helicopter hit the ground, as a dad and having a daughter and knowing that there's nothing that we can do to protect our children. And in the last moments, just being a dad, that really choked me up. And I had to really, really think about it and think about, all those blessings that I have, even on my worst days and when I have a long day at work and I'm commuting home and I make it home, that's a blessing, because you never know when your time is. And then, of course, the great things he did off the court, like you can't deny, him obviously being involved in the community, him, having that academy. They're going to the Mamba Academy basketball tournament. Everybody around him loved him. He was very charismatic. And I think through his action of hard work through the league and, dealing with the diversity he did during his career and then what he did after his career really, for me anyway, is what inspired me to even, like I didn't realize how influential he was or inspiring he was until he was no longer there. And never met the guy, never did, but just seeing his actions and his example and how it affected me and my perception of what somebody can do, it hit me very unexpectedly. And even my wife is not a big basketball fan, but when she heard, she was in disbelief. I want to say when the news broke, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's like, man, other news, did you hear that Kobe died? I was like, no, Kobe, what? And then my supervisor calls me because I'm at work. And he's like, dude, did you hear about Kobe? And I'm like, what? This is real? And, as the news was breaking or whatever, it really started to hit me. And again, because of the example that he did, there were some things that I did take away from his examples. Obviously, not the biggest Kobe fan, but what he did while he was on the court and what he did after the court with his family and things like that. So a big loss to everybody that was involved, losing family members. I could only imagine how some, and a lot of people they've already made their statements and things like that. And his wife, Vanessa, has already made a statement. So just how sad it is. And again, thoughts and prayers to all the families, again, and to us, to, my small audience, just, spend time with the people that you love, that mean so much to you, family, friends, whatever it is. Tell them you love them, and because you never know. you never know when your time's going to be up. And generally, when it comes, it's going to be, unexpected and very unfortunate. So, again, count your blessings today. Make sure your wife and your kids know when you leave, you love them, and you're leaving because you're providing for them. And, and when you come home, hug them and love them more. I have a teenager that talked about him last week. He's one of my biggest headaches, but I love that guy to death. I love all my kids. I love my wife. I got 2 cats and a dog, and I really have to be blessed to be able to do what I do and, do this and share my thoughts and kind of be here. And so, yeah, love each other. I'm really speechless with the loss. And, there's been a lot of just talk about Kobe himself, but there were 8 other, including his daughter. And so there were a lot of loss of life this year, like just real quick, and just thinking about all the crazy things going on in the world at this time. Life is short. Love each other. Do what you do. Have fun. Go on those adventures. Don't take the time left that we have on Earth for granted. And I'm just going to leave this topic with this quote that I read on Facebook, that the biggest mistake we make is that we think there's tomorrow, or we think we have more time. And we're very apprehensive and about chasing goals and chasing dreams. And again, this is just another reminder that if you want to get into podcasting, streaming, live streaming, video game streaming, making a YouTube page, doing something creative that you were really scared or whatever the case was, get out there and do it, because time is not on our side. Okay, so we'll move on to our next topic, which is going to be Fitness February. So we'll move on to, Fitness February. We are, or I myself. So I started off the year doing the cross rope challenge. It was a 14-day cross rope challenge. To be honest with you, I made it to 10 days, and then that was kind of it. And then, I was doing it every day, and then I was filming it, and then I was still doing it, but I didn't have a chance to film some of the days. And then really, in all honesty, I love the product. I love the rope. But to me, the app was not as motivating and as intuitive as I wanted it to be. But we can talk about that if you guys want a little bit more information about the app and the usage and whatever. I just continued the 10 days, and then I was like, you know what? This is not really motivating me to continue to use my rope. So I cut it down to every other day, doing a quick 10 to 12 minute just jump session, 3 minutes, 4 3-minute rounds on just a timer that I have. So now we're going into something a little bit more structured. So Fitness February. So the first week of February, basically, we're going to be pushing along. I am going to be switching over to the Nike app. So the Nike training app, NTC, using that in conjunction with the Fitbit app to oh my God, I'm going to have to cut this out in post, to coordinate and to keep track of and to build that community. So the Nike training app, again, it is free. It's a free download on Apple. And basically they're going to be, what I loved about using the app before is that, you sign up for the little challenge, a little workout session, and it'll send you reminders of like, okay, this is what we're going to do today. One of the things that the Cross Rope app didn't have for all their exercises is the Nike app has examples of all the exercises, what they should look like, and things like that. So I'll be using that as far as keeping track and getting workout ideas. For that, again, it's going to be a 3-day-a-week thing. It's going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm not going to film everything, possibly highlights for the week, but again, it'll be a weekly challenge thing. We talk about, we'll line up the workouts we're going to do for the week, the 3 workouts we'll do for the week, and then get those done, and then come back here, talk about them on the weekly show, and then kind of, just talk about fitness and talk about how we feel about them and things like that. And then if we need to make adjustments through February, we're going to make it happen. And the reason why I'm starting it on February is because generally toward this time is when a lot of people that join the gym in January, they start falling off in February. So I hope that, going forward, we'll be able to do this a little bit more. And then, of course, keep pushing and to break that wall of, well, we're, February, March, now we're really falling off, and it's like, look, let's stick to it. Let's get a little bit more structure. 3 times a week, it's going to be the Nike training app on Apple if you have an iPhone. I'll outline all of the workouts for the week, and it's only 3 workouts a week. I'll make sure they're all beginner level and things like that. And then the other thing too was I actually want to work towards getting certified as a certified physical trainer. So I think it's a CPT. I do realize it's a lot of money though. So what I'm going to be doing these fitness things and going on Fitbit and helping build and motivate folks. But to give myself some experience, but I would really love to professionally help folks, achieve their goals. So I'm going to be working towards a goal of raising up enough money to pay for the actual certification, and it's through the National Association of Physical Science. I forget what it was, but there were a bunch of different options to get the certification through. I looked at 3 of them. I went with one of those. The self-study package is, I believe, like $700. And again, I want to make sure that I'm 100% committed to being, physical fit and pushing myself and motivating myself before I sit here and try to help anybody. So I'm not trying to do like an instructional thing, but it's more of like follow my journey. Let's work together. Let's talk about it. Let's, again, it's about being overweight myself and being an inspiration to other overweight men or women. That, no matter how slow you're going, you're always going to be faster than the guy sitting on the couch. So that's like my motivating thing. Like, no matter how slow I think I am or the progress isn't as great as it can be, I'm always going to be better than that person that didn't even start. So that'll be that motivating factor to kind of get myself in physical fit, hold myself accountable, move towards my goal of wanting to be a certified personal trainer, and then help others in my certain situation, or in my I'm overweight, call it Fat Guy Fitness because it's a fat guy trying to get fit, and I want to help other people and be able to take on clients and be able to help you through the streams or whatever the case is. So that's what's on the horizon for the actual fitness aspect of finding balance in this whole trying to find balance as a dad. It does take on a lot, but at the same time, it's a goal. It's something that I want to do. And again, just like I said, life is short. So chase the dream that you want to do. And I hope that through chasing my own dream, I can help somebody achieve their dream and just kind of keep that positivity going. So that's one of the things that I want to definitely put out there as far as anybody that's listening to the podcast, checking me out on live stream. And then, of course, checking out the YouTube content, following me on Twitter and things like that, that they know that they're going to get some type of positivity, some type of motivation or something like that. If it's either trying my best to be the best dad I can be, yet I know I struggle, I'm not perfect, trying to get physically fit, even though it is challenging for me. It's something that I know is going to be a big wall for me, but I want to push myself and, again, show folks that, hey, you can try and fail, try and fail, try and fail. But, it's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you stand up. So, let that be that motivating, that factor there. And then, of course, being the best dad, fitness, and then my hobbies. Like, I've always wanted to get into the streaming broadcasting thing, and this is like my step into that. Again, chasing that dream, achieving, the podcast. We're already 30 plus, I believe, episodes already, or close to 30 episodes. Started this thing last year. Kind of kept it going, which I'm very proud of, and then went into this live streaming thing. So after the podcast recording, we're going to go ahead and go right into a quick Q&A. If anybody's in the chat, just go ahead and, talk about starting up your own stream or podcast or, anything really. Okay, so that's kind of like where I am. That's kind of like my headspace for this past week. Kind of getting through, the tragic news of Kobe Bryant and, his daughter passing away. And then, of course, just realizing how big that really was and how impactful that really was on all the other families as well. So that's what's been, like, my forethought. And then, of course, loving my kids, and just really loving on them and my family and doing, and trying to be the better dad, trying to be that better person for them because, again, our time on earth is very limited. Oh, before I forget, it is the night before the baby girl's second birthday, so she will be 2 years old tomorrow, as of this recording. And of course, sometimes I think when I do these recordings and things like that, that this is going to be a chronicle of where I was in my life that my kids could go back and listen to eventually, maybe one day. Because, once it's out on the internet, it's always going to be out there. They just got to know where to look. So, baby girl, with the tragic things that have happened, if at one point in time, I know, this is going to be a message to you. I know one day I'm not going to be here. And I've told this to your older brother, your oldest brother, let me say that one day I'm not going to be here, and I hope that you could look back at the things that I've done and you could be proud of what I've done and proud of what you've come from. And, maybe we'll be listening to this episode together later on in life. But if not, I want you to know that you've my number one baby girl. I love you to death. You were what we were missing, or what I felt I was missing. There was the two boys. It's like, but I finally got my little baby girl. I love you to death. Happy birthday. And, we'll be looking forward to, having ice cream cake and all this stuff tomorrow. So anyway, I love you, baby girl. And, it's basically a happy birthday. Happy second birthday. Oh, man. Okay. Let's kind of get past that. Last but not least, our time is cutting a little bit close. Let's talk about Holla at Your Homie. So, Holla at Your Homie today. As of this recording, you go to SeanFlac.com. You check out. Right now, I'm in the streaming thing, so I'm really loving what I'm doing. I'm really loving, the people I'm meeting. One thing that I love about streaming and watching streamers is I get to meet so many different people, and I don't have to go anywhere. That's like one of the coolest things. Like, so if you have like anxiety of meeting people or whatever the case is, you can get into streaming and meet some awesome people. So with that, I'm going to be, I have a streamer spotlight going on right now. So this is going to be the third person I'm going to be talking about. Again, the blog will change as things evolve. But right now, again, I just want to shout out some great folks that I met on there. So go ahead and check that out right now. If you go today, which it's going to be, I'm going to get this thing posted and edited and all that stuff later on tonight to be available as soon as possible. So if you go there, you may not see this person on there yet because I just got done getting my answers. You just sent out a quick survey on her stream, and she was able to get back to me, which I 110% appreciate. Thank you. And so I'll be doing a write-up on those questions and answers and things like that, but I did want to showcase her here on the podcast. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, I am talking about ROCKxURxFACE. Awesome name, isn't it? Anyway, if you go to mixer.com and it's /x ROCKxURxFACE, FACE, then X. Again, I believe I'll make sure that I have a link to her Mixer stream on in the description below. So if I did mess that up, apologies, Rock. One thing what I do love about streaming is I go into folks' chat and, I lurk. I'll see what they're talking about. And for me, the actual gaming, the gameplay, the person, if they're good or not, is not the biggest gauge for me. Like, I love seeing these games and being able to play them through other people while not having to take the time out to play them or invest the time or the money that goes into them. But it is the personality. It is the chat. It is, how they interact with their chat. It is how they interact with their teammates. So things like that. And I will say, like, right now, I believe, like, I'm a level 30 or something like that in her chat. And Mixer, you check out Mixer and you'll figure out what that really means. So I spend a lot of time in her chat. Or on her stream, watching her stream, watching her interact. And then throwing out those comments and getting the interactions. It's like, man, wow. So you check her out, Rock Your Face on Mixer. The couple things that I do love about her and I love about her stream, I love her personality, her vibe. Other things that I look at is the chat, like how interactive is she with, or how is the person interacting with the chat, if they are, or if they have moderators that are in there that are also, just saying what's up or whatever, or like fielding questions or whatever. in the chat if they're really, really big. Also, just regulars in the chat. Like, I've been in their chat. You know, AJ Cooper's in there. I always see him in there. Sheeler is what I want to say his name is. And I think she plays with them as well, too. So if they're not playing with her on stream, they're actually in the chat. I believe they're moderators as well. But then everybody else that's not, everybody is great in the chat. Like, they're very, very nice, and you don't see too much drama. There are some trolls that will. I was in there one time, and I saw a troll, and they got ban-hammered real quick. But again, it didn't change the feel of the chat in that community and that. And then of course, Rock is actually right now she's playing Apex Legends. She's awesome in the game. She communicates very well. And what I do love about her, and what I love about all the streamers are going to be talking about, is the way they interact with their community. And that not only off stream, on stream, in their Discord, the Twitter. I mean, just a total package. Again, go ahead and check her out. Again, I love the fact that she does interact with her chat. The chat in itself is very community friendly. And man, what else can I say? Like, she plays a cool game. Gamer chicks that are actually hella cool. For me, they're few and far between anyway. So that's really, really cool. And then the other things too that I look at is I also look at their information, because I want to be able to, quote unquote, like, feel like I'm getting to know this person. I'm spending time in their chat, but I would like to know like other information about them. And like, her info that is in the Mixer thing is very robust about games she's played. Obviously there's always the rules, there's always but I mean, it's fully filled out. So if you just want to sit there and watch and not interact at all, you still could feel like there's some kind of connection that you could have with the streamer, because they have a lot of information available to them. There's merch, there's all these different things. Like, I did end up supporting her. I didn't buy like a hoodie but I did buy, you can't really see that. If you are listening to the podcast, I am holding up a sticker. I did end up getting her sticker, and it was actually showcased in one of my videos on YouTube, like just in the background, just chilling. So if you knew, if you didn't know I was a ROCKxURxFACE fan, if you did take a look at that little Easter egg there in my computer noob build final thing. Anyway, go ahead and check her out. I'm going to leave her description in the leave her link to her Mixer stream in the description below. And then again, I did shoot 5 just some simple questions about her and things like that. I'll be doing a write-up on the blog, so head over to SeanFlac.com. As soon as that goes up, I'll go ahead and shoot it out live on Twitter, and of course on Facebook and all these other places that you may or may not be following me at. Okay, so that's going to be it for all the time. I kind of went over a little bit than I normally would want to, but I definitely wanted to go ahead and make sure I did talk about Rock. I talked about, the Kobe situation, how that affected me as a dad, and of course, what's to come for February for me, for Sean Flac, your boy, what you're going to be hearing in the Dad's Life podcast, and just going forward with the content that's going to be coming out. So anyway, before we wrap it up, again, you can follow me on Twitter. That's at Sean Flac. The YouTube, Facebook, the Instagram. Just head over to SeanFlac.com. It's kind of links to everything that I'm doing, including the blog. Go back and look at the blogs. There's a lot of Dad's Life stuff. I did do a blog on breastfeeding. And the challenges in that dad perspective of breastfeeding. For any of those dads that are kind of going through that right now, if you just had a newborn. We own a boat. did a write up on the boat. Did a write up on ADHD. Anyway, if you guys got any questions, comments, or emotional outbursts, you know how to get at me. Again, I can say it again, SeanFlac.com, or the best way is Twitter at Sean Flac. You can hit me up there. Again, I do stream live here on Mixer. Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time as of this recording. That may change depending on my work schedule, because I do work as well. As always, thank you everybody for all your continued support, and until the next episode, I'll see you then. Peace.